Hi guys, this is Omer from MMOHut.com. I'm gonna do another quick weekly recap of MMO news and announcements for the week ending May 1st. Oh man guys, it's May already. And as you can see from the video playing in the background, the first piece of news that we're gonna take a look at has to do with Scarlet Legacy, which is a brand new MMORPG by Games Campus, the company behind Asta Story, Asta 2, and several other games. Now Games Campus came out and announced Scarlet Legacy on April 28th, and as always, it's awesome to see a brand new MMORPG announced. Scarlet Legacy is set in a fantasy environment and features 4 classes: Warrior, Assassin, Monk, and Mystic. Each has 3 fighting styles and 10 crafting professions. The game promised to have fast-paced, fun combat, but we'll see what that's all about when the game actually launches sometime this summer. And the video you're seeing right now is the official launch trailer for the game on gamescampus.com. Now, graphically speaking, the game actually looks kind of nice, but we'll see what the game actually looks like when it actually launches. And that's actually a lot of actuallys. Up next, guys, is a bit of good news from Allies Online, which comes on April 26, 2011. And the news is that patch 2.002 Astral Odyssey is now live. I talked about this last week, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but basically the patch adds a whole bunch of new content to the game, including new areas, as well as an increased level cap to 47. Up next, guys, on April 27th, 2011, Games Campus announced the latest update to Legend of Edda Chapter 2, which actually just launched. Now, they didn't actually announce the update. They announced the update a while ago, but the update finally launched, and it was called Chapter 2, Return of the God. The update added the 3rd job class to the game for players at level 40 and increased the level cap to level 54. Now, I did mention this update last week, but the update actually just launched now, which is why I'm mentioning it again. Another small part of the update allows guilds to level up to level 5 and adds guild skills to the game. Aside from that, players should also expect about 280 new pieces of equipment into the game. And yes guys, the video you're seeing right now is actually an old trailer for Legend of Edda, but I used it anyway because there's no newer official video for the update, so I'm using this old one. Up next guys, on April 27th is an update for Pangea, the golfing MMO published by SG Interactive, previously called Entry, and the update itself is a first part of a major series of updates for Pangea called United. This is actually the first part of the United update, with other parts launching sometime in the future. Now, this part of the United update adds a new shuffle course mode to the game, as well as a new caddy system. Some of the lower level gear in the game has also had its price reduced. Now, the next update to the game will add the new Wiz City course, plus Tiki Point Shop, where players can exchange old gear for new gear. Now, another cool little aspect of this update is that players can actually rent cash shop items in Pangea now with in-game currency, which should definitely balance things. Up next, guys, on April 27th comes a small update for Angels Online. Well, not really a small update, but it's interesting to see that the game is still alive. Now, Angels Online is a game by IGG, but there's another game called Myth Angels Online by UserJoy. The same developer kind of made their own Angels Online kind of game. But anyway, the Angels Online update is Primordial Paradise, which adds numerous new things to the game. Most importantly, a new jungle with dangerous new high-level content. The expansion features 7 new maps, as well as dozens of new quests. It also adds a new achievement and title system to the game, new gear, and a bunch of other things. And yes, the video you're seeing right now is really low quality. I wish there was a better official video for Angels Online. The only one out there I could find was this one, and it is really low quality. Next up, guys, on April 28th, 2011 is actually a very small update for Silk Road Online, which basically just says they added a bunch of new anti-botting measures to the game. If you've ever played Silk Road Online, you will definitely know that the game has a major botting problem. Though the guys behind Silk Road Online, JoyMax, have been doing an awesome job keeping the bots to a minimum. They have some really interesting anti-bot features. Most notably, there's NPCs in the game where if you attack them, they pretty much one-shot you. They're basically bot bait, if you want to call them that, because when bots target them, they just die because it just one-shots them. But it's kind of cool to see Silk Road Online doing a lot of things to fight bots. This latest security measure is basically just to keep track of IPs and things of that nature to prevent botting in the game. I think every game has a lot of botters in them, but it seems like Silk Road Online seems to have a lot more than normal for some reason. Well guys, that last bit of news from Silk Road Online was a bit boring, but this next bit of news is from Prius Online, and the news is that as of April 28th, Prius Online begins its closed beta testing. That's right guys, Prius Online is now in closed beta, and the closed beta is scheduled to run from April 28th until May 8th, 2011, with the open beta starting shortly afterwards, hopefully. And as you can see from the video playing in the background right now, the game's graphics are actually surprisingly good. Now the game itself is also enormously popular in South Korea and has done quite well over there, so hopefully the game will do well in North America and Europe as well. The beta itself will feature 6 classes as well as the level cap of 25. For those itching to try Prius Online, they can get closed beta keys for the game on MMOHut.com/giveaways. I personally look forward to giving the game a try, and it is by G-Potato in case you didn't know. The next and last bit of news, guys, comes on April 29th, 2011, and Rocketbook Productions, the guys behind Microvolts, announced that they'll be adding zombie mode to Microvolts starting on May 5th. Now, it's just simply a new game mode for Microvolts. Not exactly a huge update, but it lets players become a zombie toy. Now, basically, the zombie mode in Microvolts will be very similar to the zombie mode in pretty much every other FPS game that's doing a zombie kind of mode. I know it's supposed to be very similar to the Combat Arms zombie mode as well. And for those that haven't heard of Microvolts, guys, it's a third-person MMO shooter that plays a bit like Team Fortress 2. Well guys, that's it for MMO news, but as for games coming soon, we have nothing to really look at. But as for games just recently launched, we have actually 2 games to look at, and the first one is El Sword Online, which actually began its open beta testing on April 28th, 2011, and will run until May 4th, 2011. So I know what you're thinking, why is open beta running out on May 4th, 2011? Now I'm not exactly sure, but I think after May 4th, the game will either launch the full release or take a small break and then launch the full release. But either way, the game's official open beta has already begun. The next and last game which recently launched is called A Mystical Land, which is published by Nyanga on both Facebook as well as the browser itself. Now the game itself is 3D and it does run on the browser, which is kind of cool, but unlike the Unity player, the game uses a different player called Portal Arium, which actually sounds kind of cool because it's made by the same guy who made Ultima Online, Richard Garriott. The game promised to have in-depth gameplay with over 500 quests and a large in-game world. Now for a browser-based game, the game does look quite nice, but we'll see what the game actually looks like when I do my first look video for it. Anyway guys, that's it for MMO news and announcements for the week ending May 1st, 2011. Now if you want to read about or learn more about any of the news mentioned in this video, simply head on over to MMOHut.com/news. And if you want to discuss anything you heard in this video, simply head on over to MMOHut.com/forums. Anyway guys, this is Omer, signing off.